ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਹਾਰਦਿਕ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟੀਫਾਈਡ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਸ਼ਨਰ ਹਨ। ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲੇਗੀ ਅਲਜ਼ਾਈਮਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਇਹ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਦਿਨ ਬ ਦਿਨ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹਨ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਕਾਸ਼ਨਸ ਲੈਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਤਬਦੀਲੀ ਲਿਆਂਦੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਟਾਕਰਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨਾਲ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ। There are reports since late that Alzheimer is on the rise, and a lot of people, and especially even now youngsters, are also falling under this. So what's happening, and what are the signs, symptoms, what needs to be done? Let's talk about that.
Wonderful. Yes, Alzheimer's has become a lot more prevalent in today's society because of what we're seeing. We see younger people or younger adults getting the disease. So
Right.
if it used to be the very old age disease, and now 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds seeing a lot of signs and start deteriorating sooner. And definitely the statistics have been really, really bad and,
Right.
and have been on decline. Getting worse. So one of the first signs and symptoms, of course, memory loss, of course, behavioral swings and moods, a lot of depression. Sometimes loss of smell could also be a sign and symptom of that. So we definitely need to watch for cognition. So usually it's defined, the Alzheimer's disease is defined by knowing that the personal memory is significantly deteriorating, cognition is deteriorating, just mental faculties.
Right.
If people are noticing that the mental faculties are significantly deteriorating much sooner than they should be. And a lot of people are dismissing it. Oh, I'm getting older, it's okay, it's fine. Yes, we're all getting older, but I think we have become too accustomed to just believing that absolutely all of that. It's a lot of people are here in their 40s and 50s. They're like, oh, I'm getting older. I'm like, you're still too young to talk like that.
Right.
So we have to pay a little bit more attention. We shouldn't be okay with getting older so fast.
Right.
We shouldn't be okay with losing memories in our 40s and 50s. And if we do, what do we do about it? So if we know that we are not as sharp as we used to be, if we know that we are more tired and unable to remember and process information as we used to,
Right.
some of it is normal, but if you're seeing some worrying signs, do take precautionary measures. There's so many things that we can do to
Right.
prevent, and the sooner we prevent or address Alzheimer's, the more chances we have at
Right.
managing it or recovering
So
from
we'll
it.
talk in details about what can be done, but basically, what do you feel? What are the reasons? What are the causes which are coming forward that even in the age group of 40, 50, like you said, people have started forgetting things. People have started showing those signs. What you've talked about.
Yeah. So remember how we talked about the quality of life has definitely
Oh, yes, of
changed
course.
dramatically. Yeah. So we have a lot of more chemicals in our food, in our air, in our environment. We live a lot more stressful lives.
Right.
We also, smokers are more susceptible and have a higher chance of Alzheimer's because smoking does bring in, it's not only tobacco issues, it's an issue of a lot of heavy metals and chemicals that are in those cigarettes. So smokers will see more deterioration, oxidative stress. So what brings oxidative stress? Stress, of course, one of the number of things. Pollution from the food, from the environment. I find that mercury, if people have a metal in their mouth, such as silver fillings, which are called amalgam fillings and mercury fillings, that is constantly evaporates. That mercury sends out vapor, or that mercury vaporizes, and in about 2 years of having that filling, 50% of that mercury is already in our organs, in our bone, in our liver, in our kidneys, and in our brain. And mercury is highly toxic for our brain tissue.
Right.
So what's going to happen? It's going to affect the brain. It's going to cause a lot more mental disturbances and oxidation and deprivation for the brain tissue and proper functioning in the brain. So making sure that we don't have heavy metals, toxic heavy metals in our mouth.
Right.
If we have to remove them, we remove them properly with people that understand how toxic that metal is. Then of course eating canned foods. How many people are consuming canned foods on a regular basis?
Right.
All of that lining and all the heavy metals that are subject, so I would definitely stay away from anything that's been processed and canned,
Right.
be it soda that has a lot of sugars that are highly oxidative for the body and the brain, be it all the processed foods that are canned and have a lot of chemicals. And then healthy dentistry, some drugs, like antacids, have a lot of heavy metals.
Right.
So, making sure that you reduce your stress. We talked about stress at length, about how important that is at managing our the mental health. So other things, people are talking about Alzheimer's being a disease of more of a genetic disease. I don't believe in that in that definition of it. There's definitely genetics will predispose us in how we able to manage with stress and toxicity in the environment. So we have some predisposition, or we have some a certain aspects in how we deal with that based on our genetic predisposition, our strength in dealing with the toxicity, but majority of that is due to lifestyle, due to traumas in our life, a lot of things like that. So we always have to protect the brain from having impact and concussions,
of course,
heavy metal toxicity, stress.
So again, as you have said, Antonina, a lot of things. It's basically lifestyle, but the way we are living, this is going to continue. There's no change. Despite a lot of changes in the thinking of the people, a lot of people coming towards organic, towards changing their lifestyle, but still, it's in the environment right now. So when we talk about some of the things which you have said to avoid, you have always propounded whenever you have come that stay away from canned things. But despite that, most of the time we are busy, we go around, we have our food from outside, and we don't know what is being given to us outside. And ultimately it's becoming a challenge for everyone. So how to deal with this at home, basically, apart from this, what foods to avoid and what to increase? Could you tell a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Good question. So you're right. The more you're eating outside of home, the less control you have over what you're eating.
Right.
And sometimes people eat on the budget. So you go to restaurants, they don't really make things from scratch. A lot of times restaurants will use processed, packaged, canned goods. So while you can maybe avoid them at home and make things from scratch, make your tomato paste, make other things from scratch, or buy fresh or frozen produce, and then make it at home. When it comes to restaurants, yes, you're exposed to this. So your culture is really good at eating at home because you still a lot of your community people, most of the time they'll go, they're eating at home themselves, or they go to guests' house, they go to friends' house, relatives' houses. So you guys are still very good at maintaining that kind of eating food and having time with family is really important. And I know you women care a lot about the quality of the food they're making. So of course you can control that. So being more diligent and more aware of what you're cooking with, so looking at all the ingredients, definitely picking organic or the cleaner foods as possible, buying local, buying non-radiated, buying non-processed, organic fresh fruit, growing something in your garden, because a lot of your community has live in beautiful houses, have little patches of land that they cultivate. So make your own, plant your own a few bushels of tomatoes, make your get your own beans grown, make your own herbs and things. So avoid it. It's just like, you will live in the world where we can't control everything, but we can limit the exposure. So limit as much as you can. We always talk about looking at foods that are anti-inflammatory. When we're thinking about Alzheimer's, thinking about heavy metals, what can help the body protect the brain and help the body move out the heavy metals. So what protects the brain? All the foods that are rich in vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, all the foods that are rich in vitamin C's, all the foods that have good amino acids and good fatty acids. So eating foods that eating good fats, eating good mineral, nutrient dense and phytonutrient dense foods, and drinking lots of water. Water is a very, very strong detoxifier. So, and hydrator for the brain. Your brain is more than 80% water. So those will be the principles. And then of course you can go to different supplementation if you want to, if you can find high quality nutrients. You can work with your naturopathic doctor, nutritional doctor, and make sure that you do a little bit more on the therapeutic side. You're not just getting the best what you can from the food, which is the #1 thing to do, but then you're doing other elements. You're taking extra precaution and helping body deal with that extra toxicity by being a little bit more, I guess being a little bit more determined at detoxifying the body by using high quality nutraceuticals.
Wonderful. That's interesting information what you have given, and as always you emphasize upon healthy lifestyle and of course positive thinking which can help you out. Thank you for this perspective.
My pleasure.
Thank you. ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਲਜ਼ਾਈਮਰ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਬੜੀ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਵਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਈਵਨ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਵੇਖੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ 40-50 ਸਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਤਬਦੀਲੀਆਂ ਲਿਆਈਆਂ ਜਾਣ। ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਟੌਕਸਿਸਿਟੀ ਜੋ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਹੈਵੀ ਮੈਟਲਸ, ਅਤੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਜਾਂ ਮਰਕਰੀ ਰਖਵਾਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਲਿਆਏ ਜਾਣ। ਸਮੋਕਿੰਗ ਵੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਸਮੋਕਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਦੂਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਾਵੇ, ਅਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸਡ ਫੂਡ ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਤਬਦੀਲੀ ਲਿਆਂਦੀ ਜਾਵੇ। ਪੈਕੇਜ ਫੂਡ ਤੋਂ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਫੂਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲਿਆਂਦੇ ਜਾਣ। ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਹਰਬਸ ਦੀ ਅਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ, ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਹਤਮੰਦ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਅਲਜ਼ਾਈਮਰ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।